What's up, guys? It's the Ezenaria Renze, aka Savage Says. Today, I just wanted to stream some show with my friends. Um, I just started playing on PC, so that's gonna be today's goal set. But that aside, what I really wanted to discuss is just a myriad of topics that honestly could be separate videos, but I just felt this would be more appropriate so they can be more organic. So, first things first, let me share my screen. If you do see this, drop it with a like. It's possible if you appreciate it, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, because recently I've just been noticing just our interesting trend of just I wouldn't say I'm gonna be nice and not just say outright stupidity, right? I'm not gonna say that, but what I have been noticing is that, quite frankly, a lot of the guys in the manosphere space don't. I'm a lot of men and women in general, but in particular, this manosphere space have no idea what the fuck like is gender, is inherent, is is gender, is inherent, or is inherent. Like I'm really getting the idea that we don't know. Well, let me not say we, I know, but I'm getting the idea that a lot of y'all don't understand the difference between what is inherent and what is socialized. The amount of times I've seen someone say that, like, to be feminine or to be masculine is inherent, that is inherent, that you're born from the womb that way is fucking retarded. It's retarded and it's wrong. If being inherent, if you can be inherently masculine, right, there would be no point in the manosphere existing because it'd be inherent. For example, you don't need to be taught how to eat, right? You just know. I grab food, I put it in my mouth. That's inherent. You don't need to be taught how to breathe. You you breathe in, you breathe out. That's inherent. You know, and I'm realizing that a lot of y'all don't understand the difference between what's inherent to something to people and what isn't. Being masculine and being feminine are not inherent qualities. These are socialized qualities. Say it with me, socialized qualities. Being a man, keyword man, is a socialized title. Being a male, keyword male, 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 is a biological thing. It's inherent. You didn't do anything. You don't stop being a male because society says you stop being a male. It's an inherent thing. So let me try and share my screen. Yes, I want to share the entire screen. What? Okay, I want to make this bigger. There we go. Okay, so let me pull up some guilty gear while I talk. But yeah, I'm starting to realize that, like, a lot of us don't understand these subtle nuances because I'm getting into arguments with guys who are saying, oh, like, for example, one of the arguments I'm hearing a lot is, well, it's the argument that it's the take me as I am argument, right? That as a woman, you have to unlock my inner femininity, that your masculinity will become feminine. Now, as we know, well, assuming, I'm hoping you'll know that that's bullshit. Like, that is complete and total bullshit. That's not in any way, shape, or form. That's not how that works. it's either okay. Let's try this again. Can I be heard? Okay, yes, I can. Okay, so that wasn't a good idea. Guess I won't be able to string from that. So I'll just resort to the typical strategy. All right. Okay. So that being said, I guess I don't know if what I was saying cut off or if it was heard or not. But let me start from the top. This is gonna be a chill stream. I was gonna play Guilty Gear, but with the rain going on, I don't think I have the connection power to do it because it's still thundering over here in Atlanta. But that aside, we'll try to get through it. But the topics that I want to address today is just how I'm starting to realize that a lot of black men in particular, but men in general, really have no idea what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to being either masculine or feminine. That many of y'all have this very what's the word for it? Have this very infantile idea, this very remedial idea of what it is to be a man or a woman or masculine or feminine. And the reality is that you guys still to this day conflate being masculine and feminine to being to being y'all conflate the two to being y'all conflate the two to being inherent. Like I'm hearing this idea of that, you're inherently masculine, you're inherently feminine. These are not inherent. These are socialized. There is no masculine gene. All right. These are socialized behaviors. These are socialized behaviors that are based in the preconceived notions assigned to biological differences in the sexes. All right. These are not. You're not inherent. Or there is no inherent femininity. If femininity, masculinity were inherent qualities, right, there'd be no need for the manosphere because the manosphere, one of the biggest things about the manosphere is that is teaching men who, for the most part, act in very effeminate ways to acclaim a masculine stance. Right? If it can be reclaimed in such a manner, right, then that would imply that said disposition is in fact a socialized position, no different than these women who make these femininity boot camps. I mean, feminine was inherent. There can't be a boot camp for it. You see that? But when I'm in these certain channels, like a friend of MTR, for example, or just looking around on YouTube, right, I'll hear this argument that, oh, okay, well, um, it's typically the argument used by black women when they say, "Oh, I can turn my femininity off and on depending on the man I'm dealing with." Now, we anyone with common sense know that's a bold faced fucking lie. Like anyone with a brain knows that when a woman says that, she's lying. What she's telling you when she says that is one, she's saying that she wasn't raised to be feminine. She wasn't socialized to be feminine. And she knows that. She knows she's not socialized to do that. So therefore, what she's now going to try to do, she's going to try to offset the burden of her deficiencies onto you to prove that you can make her be something that she isn't going to be. So essentially, if you're a real man, you can make me be what I wasn't raised to be. And a lot of black men have very fragile ego, very fragile sense of self when it comes to their masculinity because y'all fall for this shit hook, line, and sinker. Y'all let a bitch tell you what it means to be a man every day of the week for a lot of y'all. And y'all fall for it all the fucking time. But when a woman says that, she's telling you that she's not raised to be feminine. And also including to that, so she's also telling you that it's up to you. She's offsetting the burden of her deficiencies onto you as something that needs to be fixed by you, not by her, but by you. It's a very devious way of manipulation. Actually, thinking about it, it's like what they're doing. I've seen used a lot when it comes to like sales, where like a company who's selling some shitty product, right? What they'll do is that they'll offset their shitty product and their lack of basic services onto you, saying, okay, well, if you pay this extra fee, you can get what's supposed to naturally come with our product. That's what these women are doing, and a lot of y'all fall for that shit. The second thing is also that what these women conflate as being feminine to the men to men that they deem worthy isn't femininity. It's just being sexually submissive. Because again, these women don't look up like these women don't pick men based on the hallmarks of what is traditional masculinity. They pick men based on what they look like. We already know that. So when they say, "Oh, a man that I desire physically, if he can make me be this," it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. But a lot of y'all fall for that. In addition to that, we have this. I've been hearing this thing where it's like, oh well, your masculinity can make her become feminine. No, your femininity and masculinity are not dependent on one another. Again, these are socialized behaviors. If you aren't masculine, no amount of feminine women will make you masculine. All right. That's something that you're raised into that. It's through the modeling of your father, if he was masculine, and the men around you, that you model your masculinity after them. Hence the reason why most black men aren't masculine, because most black men don't have fathers in the household. You see how that works? You see how this shit stops making sense the more you realize that it's socialized behavior. But that aside, I'm hearing this notion that okay, well, if if you're masculine, you'll bring out her feminine. No, because your masculinity isn't dependent. Well, correction, it shouldn't be dependent on her femininity. It shouldn't. Your masculinity is on or it's not. You're masculine or you're not. These women are feminine or they're not. See, what we keep allowing women to do is that we keep allowing women to do this whole "come as I am" bullshit. This whole okay, well, I'm not qualified for the job right now, but take me as an entry level, as entry level with the salary of a high CEO and teach me on the job. No, no, because you wouldn't want a man like that. You wouldn't want a man who's not masculine to learn on the job. You wouldn't want that. No one would want that. But yet somehow we keep letting women get away with this shit. And it's ridiculous because we all know it's bullshit. We all know that if it was the other way around, no one would be saying, "Oh, well, he just gotta learn how to be a man and he can do that." No, we would all rightfully say, "Yo, if you if you can't do this, if you need to go somewhere because no woman needs to deal with you trying to figure out how to be a man, and vice versa. No man needs to deal with women and try to figure out how to be a woman. No one need if no one needs to do that. We need to come with the basic requirements are to be masculine and feminine. If you have issues with that, you need to go somewhere. You need to go to a boot camp. You need to go somewhere. But you can't be coming up here with this whole bullshit like, well, oh, I'll be feminine if you're masculine. No, I'll be feminine regardless. I'll be masculine regardless. It's no different than these women who say, oh, well, I'll let my man lead. Like, what do you mean let your man lead? Like, you're talking as if you had a say in it at all. You know what I mean? Like, I'll let you lead. What do you mean, let me lead? But see, a lot of you guys will hear that shit and not budge. A lot of y'all will hear that. Oh, I'll let a man lead. Oh, damn, Cell got me in that flame trap. God damn. A lot of y'all will hear that. Oh, I'll let a man lead. Shit, and not budge because you're so used to tying your sense of self as a man to what affirms a woman's beliefs and feelings. And that's, well, and to be fair, that's a condition of being in a matriarchy. So I can't fully say that, oh, it's because y'all are, weak minded, which again, most of y'all are, but that's beside the point. It's just that we got to stop having these circular, not even circular. We got to stop allowing these dead end talking points. When a woman says that she'll be masculine. When a woman says that she'll be feminine for the right man, she's full of shit. She's she's not feminine at all. That's the first thing. And she's offloading that deficiency on you to make her to not even to make her, but she's just offloading that deficiency to make you deal with her bullshit. Secondly, what she's conflating as her being feminine is just her being sexually submissive. Because the same women that say this shit lets you get them mad, and all of a sudden that mask comes off. All of a sudden they're ready to fight you like a man. And we've seen that. We've all seen that. From these saying, I'll be feminine with the right guy chicks, we've all seen them do that. So this argument, this stance of that is to stop. Also, to reaffirm what I said earlier, y'all need to stop saying that a woman's femininity is predicated on your masculinity. Because we all know that if you were to say that you being a man or being masculine is predicated on her being feminine, we all know that's bullshit. We'd all clown you because we know it's either you're masculine or you're not, even before you meet a woman. We need to stop. I'll say it again. We need to stop allowing women who are unfit to get away with being unfit. We need to stop it. If they're unfit, they're unfit. If they're unfit, they are unfit. If they're unfit, they're unfit, and that's just it. We have to stop allowing women to offload their deficiencies on us and then putting us in the position socially to put up their deficiencies as a mark of our manhood. That's not because that's not even how this is supposed to work, and especially given that these women won't do the same. Like women, you will never have a female today say that, oh, I'm a real woman because I put up with dudes who ain't shit. Actually, no. I take that back. A lot of women are dumb today. So a lot of women think that it's a badge of honor to, willingly pick out ain't shit niggas and then deal with them being ain't shit. So actually, I take that back. I take that one back. I take that one back. No, a lot of women today see that as a badge of honor. Like, oh, I survived the ain't shit niggas, so I'm better for it. And speaking about that, that's the other thing. I find it incredible how it seems as though the idea of learning through trial and error is more readily allowed than learning from other people's mistakes. Like it's crazy how I'll have people say, um, "I went through it myself, so therefore it's better." I'm like, you realize you could just like not did like you could just saw someone else who went through the mistake, right? And then not did it yourself, right? You understand that like you didn't have to you didn't have to burn hand on the stove yourself. So the stove can burn you. Like you could just ask someone who's gone through it, and not to know yourself, you realize that, right? Like you realize like there's more ways to learn than just like harming yourself or going through a trial. You understand that, right? It's actually insane to me, but a lot of people seem to like to learn that way. And maybe not say they like to learn that way. A lot of people like to. I think it. I personally think that a lot of people use that whole let me learn from my mistake shit as a way to defend being stupid. You know, I mean, we already know like for women, they'll say I was young as a defense of being stupid, as if like as if they never heard someone tell them to make better choices. But we all know that that's bullshit. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's really interesting that when you think about it. But onto a different topic that I want to also discuss too is that what do y'all think about the notion of deference? And if you don't know what deference is, um, in the literal sense, deference is defined as giving respect to someone, right? But in a more social context, it's traditionally seen as giving gendered courtesy to individuals. So throughout society, women are given deference by men. These deferences come in small forms and some in big forms. One of the more innocuous ways that women are given deference by men is, for example, the whole holding your door open for you. You know, if I see you struggling with something as a man, I'll run over and help you. Things like that, right? But when when I'm in these conversations with women and men, and I hear women say, "Oh, I don't need men for anything," right? Or that they are just as capable as men are, which, first of all, I know is bullshit. The second part I know is bullshit. But I often ask them, okay, so if that's the case, why is it that you women lament not receiving deference from men? Like, why is it that the indifference of men is such a problem for a woman to deal with? Like, have you noticed that too? Have you noticed that? Like, have you noticed that? Like, if you refuse to allocate yourself to a woman, they actually begin to get angry at you. Like, if you refuse to give up your time or resources to women, they get offended or mad. In fact, I'll give you an example. When I was working at Walgreens, right, I had a coworker. Obviously, I had a coworker, right? But she's a female coworker, very beautiful, very very pretty woman, right? Very slim as well too, right? And one day, just to be coy, I told her like, yeah, I don't help women, right? I said like that, like, yeah, I don't help women, right? Because we were talking about gender roles, right? And when I said that, her face, if it froze, because it, it really froze, because like she got really mad at that. She's like, "What do you mean you don't help women?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't help women." And she's like, "What do you mean?" It was like, "Well, I mean, am I obligated to help you?" And of course, she's saying, "No, I'm not." So I'm like, "Okay, but so if I'm not, if it's not obligated that I help you, then why does it matter why I don't do it?" And she this nigga is dodging the fuck out of me. Yo. Oh shit. The burning aura. But when I said that, it really pissed her off. That I just say like, no, like I don't help women. It's like, because I don't have to, you know. And it made me realize that a lot of women understand. No, not all women. All women understand that they get like a lot of the way women move through society is off of the deference of men. It's off of the courtesy that men bestow onto them, and that when you take that away, they know it's a problem for them. They understand that. They understand that, and they don't like when men know. They don't like it when men know that, like, they have that deference towards them. They don't like that. That filled up my stun bar in one hit. This man is broken. Oh my. I'm stronger this time. Sorry. A lot of women understand that a lot of them understand that they only get so far on life off of the deference that men give them. Especially when you think about how recently, due to Me Too, right? A lot of men who are in higher positions, in particular, are now refusing to have one-on-ones with female colleagues. And I'm sure you've seen the infamous Carol Seinberg clip where I'm about to die. Carol Seinberg clip where she's saying that it's not enough to not harass us; you can't ignore us too. That right there, to this day, that blows me away because it's just I'm saying to me how it's just the saying to me how, okay, obviously harassment isn't allowed, even though we all know that harassment is subjective on if you like the guy who's harassing you. Let's at least keep that one PG, right? That it's only harassment. It's only harassment if the guy who's harassing you isn't Christian Grey, all right? It's only that's what it is, as we all know, if you are the Christian Grey dude harassing her, that's when it's off with your head. So let's have that established. Right? But that aside, okay, we're not harassing you. So therefore, to even the thing about it is that men know that this whole harassment thing is a smokescreen for bullshit because a lot of these women are, engaging men the same kind of energy. So we already know a lot of it's bullshit, right? So what do men naturally do? We adapt. So if anything, if we're saying that anything we do can be used against us in the court of law when around women, what do? We remove ourselves from women's spaces in the sense of that we don't hang around them, i.e., the Mike Pence rule. You know what the Mike Pence rule is? It was a rule he made where he said, I don't do alone sessions with women that aren't my wife. And many women got mad at that, but it's the truth. If we're gonna make the argument that any form of interaction between a man and a woman can be used against him at her whim for a claim of sexual assault or harassment without any proof, mind you, right? Then yes, limiting time and access between men and women has to be the next reasonable thing because we haven't established the rules as to what happens, for example, if a woman lies about this. What happens if it's found out that the way she told this story isn't as isn't as extreme as isn't as extreme as she's trying to make it be, right? So we're having these discussions and we're not acknowledging the blatant loopholes in how these rules are being set against men, and like to a point where it doesn't even make sense. Actually, you know, like most men aren't out here defending defending the right to sexually assault and or abuse women, but the fact that none of the nuance is being taken and understanding that there are women who will gladly lie about this shit, you know, who will gladly lie about this shit is incredible, right? So now more and more we're starting to see that okay, men are starting to remove their deference from women, and women don't like it. Men are becoming more and more indifferent, and women are like losing their fucking minds about it, especially with black men, because with black men, it's always assumed that oh, we'll just it's always assumed that that we're workhorses for everybody else. It's always assumed that way, and I'm sure you've seen, if you haven't, I'm sure you've seen the videos on TikTok of black girls saying, "Oh, I went to the club, or I went to this place, or I went to that place, and the black men didn't say anything to me," which blows me away because it's like, okay, why is if it blows me away for two reasons. Two reasons, right? As much shit as black women talk about black men, why is it that you're even you're even pressed by the fact that the same black men you regularly talk shit about, right? When now in public don't even address you, that's a sign of anger to be incited. You know what I mean? Like how exactly does that work in your mind? How exactly how exactly does that work in your mind? The same men you gladly talk shit about, and let's be clear, black women gladly talk shit about black men. Y'all do it with zeal. y'all do it with zeal. So then the same men that eagerly trash, right? You then feel a way about them not approaching you in public spaces. They are talking shit about you. They aren't praising y'all. They're just indifferent, and that's a problem. Like I remember it was on Abba and Preach, and they did a video on that girl in college who was like, oh, there's attractive black man, and like he's looks good and everything. I mean, I won't talk to him though, right? But I can just tell he don't like black girls. And I'm like, what? like, like what? You created this entire storyline in your head about a black man who doesn't even know you exist, that he must hate you. He's gotta hate you. He's gotta hate you. He doesn't even know you exist, and he's gotta hate you. And I'm starting to realize that pulling this all back together. Cause I'm pretty sure this is like gone all over the place, but pulling this all back together, I'm starting to realize that the biggest power that men have is our deference towards women, and women know that. And the moment we as men remove that deference, the moment we as men remove that deference from women, they freak out. The moment, oh my gosh, okay, tongue tied. The moment we remove that deference from women and have them moving through life the way that most men move through life, right? Off the merit of our own skills or lack thereof. These women literally can't handle it. In fact, what I realized even beyond that, right, is that the real reason women are so bad nowadays is that they're mad at life. They're mad at time because they know that time's on their side. A woman has a female has a very short shelf life when it comes to her optimal ability to pull a mate and attraction. Very short. It's essentially, if we're being honest, it's her 20. It's like the moment she's like 18, 19, right, into her late 20s. So like maybe at most 27. That's her peak time, right? And with all these things in the media, women are trying to pull that time back and make it extend, but their biology isn't fit to do that. Like the biology isn't suited to, you know, to peak at 35. It's not. It's suited to peak. It's suited to peak at 26, 27. It's suited to peak at like at most 30. But a lot of women are starting to realize that, oh, I can't keep up, and it's irritating them. The lack of time on their side is why they're mad. The fact that their biology predisposes them to age to how do I say this? The fact that they're mad at the fact that time isn't on their side. They're mad at the fact that their own biology doesn't give them the time to do all these, liberating things. I use that in air quotes. All these liberating things that that they've been told in the magazines, on the TV shows, right? Because the one thing that a lot of these women that I realize don't understand is that these women on TV are enhanced by having money that most women never will have, enhanced by having the time freedom that most women never will have, enhanced by having the surgeries, especially the surgeries that most women don't have access to, right? And they're seeing that and wanting to be it for themselves, but it doesn't work. So now you have all these women who are honestly operating on some incel behavior, mad at biology, mad at their own biology, mad at how time, mad at how they don't have the time that men have, mad that they age in a way that isn't fair to them. But for men, it's the opposite, and they're mostly mad at that because of how all this interplays. Is that the higher tier men get the higher tier women, and you aren't a higher tier female by the type of men that approach you. Not only that, but you aren't a higher tier female by the type of attention and, more importantly, the type of deference that men give to you, right? This is where that whole pretty privilege topic comes up, where you have women who are average to below average lamenting how they've never been invited to the club by a guy, or they never, or like they always have to pay for stuff, right? Essentially, you have women who are average to below average, annoyed that they have to move through life like men do. And it reminds me of Tosh Point oh, where he said that, if you're an ugly woman, get ready, bitch. You're gonna look like a man, you know. And I'm seeing that these women really, I mean, really dislike that shit. They really dislike how they don't get the automatic deference of more attractive women. They hate how they don't have the time that men have, and they despise how their own biology has a. It, it, they despise how their own biology limits them. They despise it, and it's just insane. It's insane because when I realized that, it made me understand that there's nothing that men, whether the woman is black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian, there's nothing that you can do to assuage that level of angst and rage. You can't. No amount of talks, no amount of oh well, let me break it down for you. No amount of that shit is going to deal with the anger they have, because the anger they have stems from just like the anger they have is literally that life isn't fair. That's their anger. That's why you got girls like, in this black girl sector that have shit like featureism and colorism and texturism. Oh my god. What is it? Is featureism, colorism, texturism? Oh my goodness. Like just like some just some yeah, like featureism, colorism, texturism, bi positivity. It's literally ugly girl arguments. That's what it is. It's ugly girl arguments. I'm not what society deems as beautiful right now. Therefore, society must burn to the ground. therefore, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. Therefore, it's all wrong because I'm not what society deems as attractive. It's all wrong. And it's no surprise that it's and having said that, let's talk about the insanity that is the creation of the term featureism. So, to my own detriment and lack of sanity, I've been perusing some of these colorism channels, right, just to hear what the talking points are. And from my observation, the the evolutionary phenomenon that within a certain species and a species, yeah, within a certain group or species, that certain features are more desirable than others on a scaling hierarchy is featureism. So, um, for example, within lions, right? It's seen that the darker haired lions are considered more desirable than than the lighter maned ones, right? Within what is that bird again? Within peacocks and parents, the peacock that has the more illustrious feathers is seen as more desirable than others that don't, right? So its features put it on a different hierarchical. Is that a word? Hierarchical. I'm saying that, so I'm probably saying that wrong. But their features put them on a higher place in the hierarchy, right, amongst their group, right? So and I'm sure that there's there's probably millions of examples of how a certain feature with a certain feature across dimorphic species increases its mating potential, right? Obviously, but from what I've been hearing, these women view the idea that that's that for example, these women view the idea that other features are seen as more desirable than the ones that they have as featureism. These women are essentially mad at evolution. Like they have a bone to pick with evolution. So if you hear a woman say featureism or texturism, any of that shit, it's literally them saying, "I'm mad at evolution. I'm mad that as it stands right now, the way I look, the features that I have aren't ranked higher among society. I'm mad at that. And because I'm mad at that, I'm gonna act like a ignorant. Like it is some like incel shit, yo. No, not even some. It is incel stuff. It is because when we hear incels say, "Oh, I keep on saying but it is incel stuff because when we hear incels say the girls that I want won't pick me because I'm not a giga chad, right? I'm not a strong jawline dude, right? we tell them, okay, get over it. Like, go fit in where you get in. Better yourself. You won't always get the girl that you want, but you can get a girl, right? When men come with those talking points, we tell them to deal with it and man up. But for these women, they are literally like in a cesspool of just, oh, society doesn't validate my features the way they validate other women's features. So therefore, society is wrong and society should change to be more inclusive to my features to validate me on the same level that it validates, other women. And let's be real, we're talking about black women here. So we already know that other women is mixed women, light skinned women, and white and non-black women, particularly white women. So society elevates their features above mine. It's not fair. And so society should be more inclusive to my features. And if it just saying this is just crazy. But it's just insane because I mean, just think about it. Like these women are really like creating a Bible of just self pity, a Bible of just self pity and angst. And there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that you or I can do about it to change that mentality. There is nothing. I repeat, nothing that we can do about that. Nothing. Like these women are dead set on having this mentality. And it's honestly insane to me. I mean, could you imagine being that in your feelings about something like that? Like, could you imagine that? Could you imagine? Like, could you just imagine that? Could you just imagine being that angry? Well, let me take off this. Okay, there we go. Bachito Patora, yeah. Could you imagine being that angry about that shit? Like that's how these women are operating. And just rage, like featureism, like my features aren't celebrated enough, so therefore the whole system must crumble. It's just like these women really sound like affirmative action sexual marketplace socialist. Because not everybody can win. Therefore, we just because not everybody can be rich. Therefore, we must redistribute of the beauty. Because every woman can't be a 10, we must redistribute the beauty across all women. Oh, I can't even concentrate. It's crazy. But all that aside, let's run down what I've just spoken about. So first and foremost, most of you niggas do not understand what it means to be masculine and feminine. Most of y'all conflate these two things as being inherent. They are not inherent. They are not biological. They are socialized traits. They are socialized. The fact that this space exists for men to speak is evidence that these behaviors are not, that these two concepts are not inherent to man or female. These are socialized behaviors. All right. Socialized. So I'm not even say so can, because I know you niggas are gonna keep on using this shit correctly. But at least I said it here to know that it's fucking wrong. Um, Second thing, if a woman tells you that she's masculine, she's masculine. If a woman, yeah, If she says she's masculine, run. But if a woman tells you that she's feminine with the right guy, that's a lie. She's not feminine at all. In fact, she's a headache most of the time. You're going to be with her. And she's offsetting her deficiency for you to pay a premium cost to deal with her bullshit. The reality is that she wasn't socialized to be feminine. And what she's saying when she says that is that she is sexually submissive to a man that she finds attractive to the right man. And that sexual submission that she has for him will compel her to act a little more civil than usual. But in reality, the moment she gets mad, all that is going out the window. And we all know that, you know. So that's the first thing we talked about. Second thing, and we as men have to understand that our greatest power in the dating marketplace and in just dealing with women is that is our deference to women. Our deference to women is the single greatest thing we give these women because these women today have never lived in the world where they have to get it themselves. They never have. There's always the idea that a man will come and do it for me, for free, no less. Forget paying for it, for free, no less. That a man will come for free and do it for me. These women have always. No woman alive today knows what it feels like to walk outside and not get help from a man. So our deference towards them is everything. And we're seeing it now when the moment we become indifferent, there are problems for them. They start freaking out. So understand that you even playing the game with these with women is already a lot in itself. You even playing the game is a lot in itself. And quite frankly, you don't have to play the game if you don't want to. You play the game at your own accord, at your own rules. So there's that. And last but not least, this whole idea of colorism, featureism, and texturism. These are all ugly girl, average girl arguments. This is all dating social. This is all mating socialism. All right, that's all it is. These women are seeing that other women, thanks to social media, women are seeing that other women are getting men to treat them like queens while they're stuck working while they're stuck working and making it off of just women are seeing average women are seeing that other women who are better looking than them are being treated like queens, are having the VIP treatment, and they don't like it. And they don't like it to the point where they want to shame men and other women for being treated the way they do. They want to shame men for treating pretty women with better privileges and better treatment than they treat other women. They want dating socialism. This is incel behavior. It's defeatist. It's just weird because we know that as men, our worth socially is not inherent. You know, ethically, every human life is valued, but socially, as men, we have to prove why we are worth something. That's what it is. And women don't like women enjoy having that standard on us, but they hate it on themselves. They hate having to prove their worth, which is why whenever you bring up what it brings to the table, they freak out. especially women of today, because especially women of today, because women of today aren't raised to have any outward value. You know, most women today have no skills. So when you really ask that question, it's a mind fuck because they know they don't have any skills. And of course they'll say nurturing, but like if you look at if you, and of course they'll say, you know, of course they say we're nurturers, right? But if you look at but if you look at, you know, how the kids that they nurture turn out in life, most of these kids turn out to be failures. So even at nurturing, they aren't even good at that anymore. You know, so yeah, like it's an interesting. So you know, it's interesting time in the next couple years. It'll be quite amusing to see how things turn out because we're having a generation of men who are becoming more and more disillusioned, right? You know, more and more disillusioned. We have women who are screaming for the what is okay? Is my why isn't my super coming out? What the fuck? Yeah, it's three keyboard. What the fuck's going on? That's bullshit. Okay, like it's not coming like three times. I'm getting distracted. But yeah, you know, we're having a generation of men who are becoming more and more disillusioned with the inherent double standards that society is trying to implement. And then we have women who are very well aware of what they gain and what they seek to lose if men realize it's all bullshit. Who and these women are trying their hardest to manipulate men into staying on the path of, you know, a fuckery. You know, you have these single moms who had kids with bums telling you that, you know, getting a single mom is okay. You have these women who have sexual past as long as criminal rap sheets telling you, oh no, it's okay that I was a whore in my 20s. You have all these elements out here trying to keep men in the same. It's crazy. You have all of these elements out here trying to keep men in the same unaware, disillusioned box about what women really are and about how society really works. And as more and more men wake up from that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem because the moment men start waking up and start demanding more of the more basic requirements of women, women are gonna fall out. Are you serious? Okay, this is a horrible match. Women are gonna fall out. Women are going to function because now all the talking points of, oh well, a man that does this aren't gonna work. It'll be like, no, I'm not doing that. Go find a man that will do that for you then. And the reality is these women can't find a man that'll do that for you. They can't. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Tell me how this went. I was trying something different. It's raining here, so the I had some technical difficulties at first. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And peace. Oh, so it was glitching out? Okay, see, I realized something was going on. Higher It's not looking good right now. Higher AR. Okay, wait. Music factor. Was it that the visuals were going in and out, or was it that it was slowing down? So I know, because yeah, it's raining over here because of the hurricane. So I don't know. Well, I do know that's probably what it was. If so, I might have to just do this another time and take down this thing. Oh. Okay, yeah, yeah. Cooler. I mean, it's one of the harder matches in the game, but my super wouldn't come out. Like there were you saw like how many times I had him in the stun state, right? And I would, press down energy and shit to get my super because I had picked the Patora earring fusion and it would have come out. So I don't know what the fuck was going on. Like that match should have ended so much earlier. But yeah, no, like he was getting my ass. He was getting in my ass. He was getting in my ass. But no, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully these streams get bigger, trying to expand to different things. But yeah, appreciate you, Music Factor. I will be streaming probably later on this week too. So if you want to come in, that'll be cool as well. But thanks to all those that did watch. Thanks to all those that will probably rewatch this. And again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.